Good morning to everyone. When I was a kid, one of the things that we tried to understand the most is Yiddish expressions, because we heard it all around us, and most of us didn't speak Yiddish, not at home nor in school, but there was Yiddish around us. And one of the big questions there was what was the difference between a Schlamazal and a Shlemiel? And the answer was, inevitably, a Shlemiel is the guy who spills the soup. A Schlamazal is the guy that he spills it on. This morning, I have to admit, I had an example of such a person, no less than a rabbi, that was both a Schlamazal and a Shlemiel at the same time. He comes into his own minyan late. And that particular morning, there happens to be not just one simcha, but two simchas, both a bris and a bar mitzvah. So the rabbi's davening, doesn't say anything to anyone, and obviously when the actual moment that davening would change, namely, do you or don't you say tachanun, he's in the middle of a silent amida. And as you can well imagine, ruckus breaks out. The chazan decides to say tachanun, and a long tachanun for Thursday, and a third of the people scream out, no, there's a bris, no, there's a bar mitzvah. So the chazan doesn't listen and continues. He says Yud Gimel Midot and the Vidui, and then says Vayomer David El Gad, putting his hand down. It was a Nusach Svard minyan. And ultimately, then, finally, the rabbi finishes his silent Amida, tells him, no, there's a bris today, you don't say Tachnun, and he said, a Chatzi Kaddish. I can give a shir on this whole particular episode, namely, if you started Tachnun on a day you shouldn't say it, do you finish it? Suffice it to say, it's not an Isser to say Tachnun any day of the year. As a matter of fact, the Rambam says it's Ma'akev b'tfilah, though we don't paskin that way, and therefore we skip Tachnun in accordance with the Gaonim that say that it's not Ma'akev when there's a good excuse. My point is, if you're a rabbi and you ultimately are in charge of a minyan and they look to you for guidance, don't come late. Number two, if you do come late and you know there's a bar mitzvah and a bris, you have to give instruction to the minyan. If not, the whole minyan was one big joke. As I said, a third of the people said to say tachanun, a third of the people said not to say it, and a third of the people did what everyone does when there's a ruckus. They started to talk on their cell phone, talk to each other. The whole thing becomes one non-respectful way to serve God in shul. And all you had to do is either come on time, or if your alarm clock didn't wake you up on time, give instruction before you start your personal prayer. That is the obligation and the responsibility of a rabbi, so that after minyan, no one will think, is he a shlemiel or a shlamazal? Have a wonderful day.